Okay, we're going to have a test on this on Friday. Okay, it's all about finding what x equals. Now, first off, when I just make also make minuses plus negative. Now, if this is only x you have, you're going to dot it, circle it, go to your wall. So you got plus minus times division. Okay, so you got your 14. Put 14 up top, it's negative, so we plus 14. So that's 0. 2 dot x. 28 plus 14 is 42. So that's enough of that. Now I see times, I divide. This will always be dividing here. So 42 divided by 2 is going to be 21. Okay, next one. Again, this is the only x I have. If I just have x one time, I dot it and circle it. Okay, if you want to go plus negative, you can. Plus negative, you can. Make your wall. Now, I don't need to add or subtract here, okay? Because on this side of the wall, I don't have anything outside the circle. So we skip that, and we go into our division. So negative 3, negative 3. So negative 18 divided by negative 3 is 6. Okay, next problem. Now this time I don't dot and circle because there are 2 of them, okay? Now, are they on the same side of that equals, or are they on opposite sides? They're on the same, so you make your V, okay? So we add negative 2, negative 7, plus negative 2, that's negative 9. Plus 3 equals 66. Okay, now I can do the dot, the circle, and the wall. Because you want to be able to do that, but you can't until the x is there just one time. Okay, so outside that we have a 3. Okay, so we need to 3. So since it's positive, we're going to minus 3. So I got negative 9 dot x equals 66 minus 3 is 63. Then we divide. Remember, when you divide, don't switch the sign on that number. It's negative 9, negative 9. So 63 divided by negative 9 is negative 7. Okay, my next one. Again, I can't do the dot and circle because there's 2 of them. Okay, they're on the same side, okay, so we make our V. So I take negative 5 plus 8, and that's 3, so it'd be 3x. And don't forget, you also have a plus 3 equals 33. Dot, circle, make your wall. So plus minus times division. Okay, outside you got a 3, okay, so you can go 3 and 3. Now up there it's positive, so I'm going to minus it. So 3 dot x, and then 33 minus 3 is 30. Now we go into our division by 3. So I take 30 divided by 3, and it's 10. Okay, moving right along. We have 3x plus 4 equals negative 5x plus 20. Let's make those plus negative. And we're going to have to solve for the x. Now, I'm not ready to do the dot circle again because there's 2 of them. But this time, they're not on the same side. So it won't be the v I use. It's going to be me deleting the smaller x from the problem by adding or subtracting it. So I go 5x, 5x. And it appears to me that 5x is negative, so I need to plus it to get it to 0. And then I plus it over here. So 3x plus 5x is 8x, plus the 4 equals 20. It's positive 20. Now you can dot and circle and make your wall. So plus minus times divide. Okay, I got a 4 there. It's positive, so I will be minusing 4. So 20 minus 4 is 16. So 8 times x equals 16. Now I divide both sides by the 8 factor. 16 divided by 8 is 2. Okay, next one. Again, I can't dot and circle the x. Can't put the dot in the circle because there's 2 of them. You can't do that with 2 of them. It has to be just 1 of them. But they're on opposite sides again, so I will not be using the v. Instead, what I'm going to do is mark my smaller one. Now, when I have 2 negatives, the larger the negative, the smaller it is. So that's one I'm going to delete. 6x, 6x. And since that appears like it's negative, I will be plussing and plussing. Okay, so I go negative 4 plus 6. Okay, if you have, don't write 10. Negative 4 plus 6 is 2. So it's 2x plus 3 equals 17. Dot and circle, make your wall. So plus minus times division. Okay, we have a 3 there. This time it's positive, so I'm going to minus. So 2 dot x, 17 minus 3 is 14. Now I do the division by 2 and by 2. So 14 divided by 2 is 7. Again, I don't want to see that line made until the last step. Okay, now here, solving for x. This is the only place I see x, so I can do the dot circle and make my wall. Okay, I don't need to combine the x's. Okay, so I have a 2 out there. It's positive, so I will be subtracting it. It's positive, so minus, minus. So negative 7 dot x, and then negative 19 minus 2. It's not 17. You got to get it in as a negative. Okay, so that's done. Now I see times, I divide. When I divide, I don't change the sign. It's still negative 7. So negative 21 divided by negative 7 is 3. Okay, the next one. There's the only x. I can dot it and circle it and make my wall. Okay, so on that wall, remember, that's on the other side of the wall. I don't care about that. There's nothing else besides the dotted number, the negative 2. So I have no reason to add or subtract. You should not be adding and subtracting. That step I skip. And then times, I will be dividing. When I divide, I take the same number and the same sign. So I divide negative 14 by negative 2. And that's going to be 7. Okay, now story problems. The bill for the repair of your car cost $110 for the part. It also cost $25 per hour for labor. You're charged $180. How many hours did it take to repair your car? So again, I see 2 units in the problem, and we have dollars and hours. Now the time is my x, okay, that's my independent variable, and then money is the dependent variable. And then per, on top you put your y label, on bottom you put your x, dollars per hour. Now since there's only one table up there, there's only $1 per hour I have in the problem. It's 25x. So I make one line, I got 25x. Now, before the $25 per hour, we had 110 to start with. Okay, so we have 110, put a plus operator equals y. So my equation is 110 plus 25x equals y. There's the equation. Now, the last number in the problem is 180. Put 180 with its label, dollars. Now go up there and look at what dollars is. What letter is that? It's Y. So 180 replaces the Y. So I have 110 plus 25x equals 180. Now I dot my x since that's the only one I have. Make the wall. Plus minus times divide. Now outside the wall you got up 110. It's a positive, so you're going to minus it. Okay, 180 minus 110 is 75. So you have 25 times x equals 70, not 75, okay? Then I divide both sides by the 25. And 70 divided by 25 is going to give me 2.8. Now it's hours, it's time. Time's continuous, okay? So I'm fine with the decimal. Okay, next one. Dan purchases DVDs for a website. He is charged $6.95 for shipping. He is charged $11 per DVD. Dan is charged $50.95. How many DVDs did he purchase? So again, we're finding how many DVDs Dan purchased. So I've got dollars and DVDs. Now there's no time unit, but so X has to be time, but it cannot be money. Okay, so Y is going to be the money, and X is the DVDs. X is the independent variable. That's your DVDs. Money is the dependent variable. So money per DVD. There's got to be only one because there's only one table there. So it's 11X. So I'm paid $11 every DVD. Now, before we bought any DVDs, that's why the zero's there, we paid $6.95. So that's your beginning amount. So my equation is $6.95 plus 11x equals y. Now I take the $50.95. The label for that is dollars. Now, since that has a dollars label, dollars is y, so we put it in for y. So 6.95 plus 11x equals 50.95. Okay, so here's the only x I have. I dot it and circle it, make the wall. Plus minus times division. So we have the 695. It's positive, so I will be minusing it. Remember, don't make the line. You don't make the line until the last step. That means underline. I want to see it underline. So 695 minus 695 is 0, and I have 11 times x. Then I take $50.95 minus $6.95, and that's 44. Then I go ahead and divide by the 11 factor. Now x is by itself. So 44 divided by 11 is 4. So he bought 4 DVDs. Again, you can always check your answer, okay? The way to check your answer would be taking your 695, adding 11 times, I think my x is 4, so I times it by 4. That's 50.95, just like it says in the problem. Okay, you don't have to do that, but it's a way to check. Okay, next one. Become a member at a golf course. You have to pay a $30 membership. The cost of admission is $5 per day for members. Non-members are going to pay $7 per day. After how many days does the cost for members and non-members equal? So I go look up there, I go dollars and days. The time unit, days, is the X, and then money's the Y. So dollars per day. When you put the Y label on top, the X label on bottom. Now there's two tables. That means there's got to be $2 per days we're looking for. There are 5X and 7X. Now when there's two separate tables, do not add them together. They're both positive, not going to throw any negatives. So I make two lines. 5X in the middle, one, 7X in the middle, the other. Now, the first guy at 0 days, he had to pay $30 to begin with. So 30 goes here. Now, the other gentleman, he didn't have to pay anything at 0 days. So 0. Now, cross out your Y's and write your equation. You want to know when 30 plus 5X is equal to 0 plus 7X, which is just 7X. Okay, and I have to solve for X. Now, I'm not ready to do the dot and circle in the wall because there's two X's, okay? Never dot two X's, okay? Now, they're on opposite sides, so instead of the V, we put an arrow on the smaller one and go ahead and delete that from the equation. That's an adding, subtracting thing. So up top, I see we got positive, so we're going to minus. So now I have 30, and then 7 minus 5 is 2x. Dot, circle, make your wall. Now in this problem, I don't see anything outside of that circle, so I can skip the plus minus step and now go into my dividing step by 2. 30 divided by 2 is 15, so x equals 15. So 15 days. Now to check your answer, dots here. So you got 30 plus 5 and then times x, but I think I have my answer for x, it's 15, so that's 105. Now the other guy, you got 0, so I'm not even going to put 0 in. I'm just going to put 7 times what my x is, which is 15. That's 105. So since they are equal, I have done this problem correctly and got the correct answer. You don't have to do that. It's just me checking it. Okay, next one. The membership for joining a gardening association is $24. Members are then charged $3 per day for admission to the garden. Non-members are charged $6 per day. After how many days at the garden is the cost for members and non-members equal? Okay, so you got 3 boxes. And we've got dollars and days. Okay, now days. Days should be our X unit, and that should be the Y. So per dollars per day. Remember, there's 2 tables, so there's got to be 2 of them. So you got $3 per day and $6 per day. Put them in the order that they're in the problem. So I got 3x, 6x. Now, prior to the $3 per day, he had to pay $24. So he has a beginning amount of constant amount of 24. Okay, now prior to the $6 per day, he didn't have to pay anything, so 0. So equals. Again, get rid of your y's when you have 2 lines. Those don't serve a purpose anymore. So you got 24 plus 3x. And we want to know when that's equal to 0 plus 6x, which is just 6x. Now again, you don't do the dot circle yet, not until you've simplified the equation, so x is there only one time. Okay, so they're on opposite sides, so I mark off the smaller one, and I've got to delete that from the equation. So we got a positive, so we're going to minus it. That's 0. So we have 24. 6x minus 3x is 3x. Now you can dot, circle, make your wall. Okay, but on that side of the wall, there's nothing outside the 3 times x. So I can skip that, and then I go into my division. So I divide by 3. 24 divided by 3 is 8, so x equals 8. Now to justify my answer, we can substitute the 8 in for x. So you got 24 plus 3 times 8, $48. Okay, and then 0, I'm going to skip that, and it's just 6 times 8, $48. Oh, they're equal.